This is Bare Bones with Jessy and B.
I'm Jessy.
And I'm B. And today we're going to be talking about manifesting. And intentionally manifesting and consciously manifesting is probably one of my favorite topics. So I'm really excited to get into this today.
Get the real life expert here.
So we're going to be talking about just some individual experiences with consciously co-creating with the universe. And then we're going to be talking about, just some things that we've manifested together. Then we're going to take you all through just a few techniques, some quick, cool tricks to help you manifest into your own life. And then we'll always do a little integration at the end.
Yeah. So, I think we should start with how we unintentionally manifested each other.
I think that that's a great place to start because so before we even get into this topic, I just want to preface it with we are always manifesting and co-creating with the universe, whether we are conscious of it or not. So I'm going to say that I've been consciously manifesting since 2020. That's when I was having my first spiritual awakening, I should say. And things were really turning on for me. That was also maybe about a year and a half after I got sober. So my mind really started to clear up. I wasn't feeling so foggy and so that really began to turn on. But I was still manifesting in my life, everything before that. I just wasn't totally aware that I was creating my own reality. So that gives us a lot of power initially, we create our own realities. That's huge.
Yeah.
So
I would say I didn't start consciously manifesting until last year, 2023, really. Because before that, I was quite skeptical just due to, I feel like it was a trendy thing online that you would see quite a bit, It would be somebody who was already rich, and they would get on, they'd be like, I manifested this BMW, or this Mercedes, I don't know, C-Class, whatever. And they wouldn't expand on it. I'm like, okay, so I was very skeptical about actually manifesting initially. So, yeah.
What alleviated your skepticism?
Seeing it actually happen in real time in my life.
Okay. Wow. So you kind of did an experiment.
Right.
You got the results and you were like, okay, let's do this.
Correct.
Cool.
So
cool. Yeah. So I've been consciously, like I said, manifesting for a few years now. But I hadn't been so aware of an unintentional manifestation. I've always, since I've been consciously, manifesting certain things, I've always kind of taken it maybe from my mind or even from my heart, something that I really wanted or something that I really wanted to happen and experience. It's not all about money. That's probably another myth that I feel like I hear a lot and I see a lot out there. Manifesting is not all about money and abundance and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, I've heard people talk about it too. When you focus on one area of your life, for instance, what we're talking about is love, and I was not in a place at this time in my life. When was this? When did we meet? May
12th. Yeah, May.
So around that time of last year. So it hasn't even been a full year, y'all. This all happened really quickly. Around that time, I was consciously focusing on self-love and doing these really amazing, powerful mirror practices, looking at myself in the eye every day for probably, I don't know, anywhere from 15 to minutes to an hour, at a time every day, just really cultivating that self-love, journaling about it. I was in a whole thing doing different activations. I was in a self-love program, actually. I was not intending to manifest a romantic partner.
Right. Same. I had no intention of it. I was very much in the same kind of space that you were. I was like entering my self-love era. I had been there for quite some time. I was like waking up, I had my routines, I was going to the gym, I was very conscious of what I was like putting in my body, the music I was listening to, what I was watching, like everything. Like, so yeah, I was not intending on manifesting the love of my life. And there you appeared. Like, yeah, that was like the first time I think in my adult life I've truly like loved myself so deeply.
Yeah, that time in my life, and it's carried until now, you know, I still have struggles with certain things, but definitely I don't struggle with self-hatred anymore, which is what I used to struggle with. From like middle school to like, you know, just a few years ago, actually. But getting into this self-love era, I've realized with you manifesting into my 3D reality that once you get into a certain frequency, for this instance, it's self-love. Once you get into that frequency, in every other area of your life, things begin to appear. Blessings come to you. Rather, you are magnetizing your blessings to you because you're a magnet.
I was going to say, like, once I started loving myself so deeply, like I totally attracted you into my life. We would not have met, you know, prior to that.
I completely agree. I completely agree. I also feel like, even though we've talked about this too, I think maybe more so in the last episode about like receptivity, like if I wasn't in the self-love era, I don't think I would be able to receive the type of love that you were giving me and willing to give me. I would have like been like, oh, she's too nice.
Yeah.
Wrote you off. Like, this is boring.
Yeah.
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 You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. You would have chosen, total opposite for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you just weren't in that space.
Right.
Of loving yourself.
So, wow, beautiful. Okay. So, yeah, that was like really great for us to love ourselves. And then, like, an amazing bonus to be like, okay.
Yeah.
Enter the love of your life.
Right. And then I think it was really quite evident, you know, from the beginning, maybe not such, you know, the beginning, but the more we got to know each other, the deeper our connection grew. We really knew that, like, okay, it's more than the love that we're sharing. Like, we're going to build something together. We're supposed to be creating something together outside of ourselves. And do you want to talk a little bit about, you know, the passion project?
Yeah. Yeah, so that became very apparent. We both just had, I feel like, this internal, like, intuitive feeling, like, we're going to create something together.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be really big. It felt like a really, really big mission, you know, and it still does.
Right.
And it was a few months after we met, we really started, like, talking about this. Like, I actually had that feeling for a while before I even talked to you about it. Because I'm like, okay, this might be a little much.
Yeah.
But like you were feeling the same way, and we wrote about it one day, but we knew that we were going to create something together. We had some ideas of maybe what it could be.
Right.
But we didn't know where to start. Whatever we had like in our minds, we were like, that's not right now.
Right.
Like maybe later down the line. So what we did was we did something really beautiful, which I feel like I just want to like keep this into like our manifestation practice always. And this is how my teacher does it too. You really like allow the universe to flow through you. You don't take the manifestation from your mind like, oh, I want this thing. I want, you know, this car or this amount of money. It's like, no, what does the universe want to communicate through me? So we got in line with that, like, I feel like universal flow, that stream. And our intention was, our affirmation was, I am my passion project, because we knew that we were going to be very passionate about whatever project we were creating. We just didn't know what that project was.
Right. Exactly. And we kind of got like, what we had to like let it go. We couldn't let it come from the mind.
Right.
We couldn't force it, which I tend to kind of do. I get in my mind about something and I'm like, oh, we could do this and that. And I just had to let that go so things could flow through us. And we got little breadcrumbs here and there, you know, like, boom, we should be speaking. Oh, it's going to be a podcast. Oh, this is what it's going to be called. This is your niche. This is your audience. This is what you need to speak on. This is what you need to teach. And
lots of little ideas.
It just kept flowing and flowing and flowing. And here we are talking to you right now.
Yeah, that's so wild.
Which is really crazy.
It all happened really quickly. And we both felt that like universal pulsation. And that's why, you know, we got all of the, you know, things together so quickly to do this, because it was, the universe was really wanting us to like birth this,
right?
I suppose
this is basically like our baby,
our first baby.
It's our first baby.
Many more to come. So that was super powerful.
And I would say, when did we, I want to kind of give like a timeline of things, of how quickly things actually were moving for us.
So we were saying the affirmations and we didn't know what the project was going to be. Between that time and, I don't know, I feel like it was maybe a few weeks.
It was not very long. It was not very long at all.
Maybe a week. I don't know. It came really quickly.
It came really quick.
That, oh my gosh, okay, the project is a podcast.
Right. And you just could, like, for me personally, I could just like feel it. It was just like a resounding yes through my whole body. I was just like, okay. Didn't even question it. I was like, okay, yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Because it felt so right. Yeah. It all happened really quickly.
Really quickly. And some other things that, you know, we wrote all of these things out. And one of the things that sticks out to me the most is, you know, we wrote about in our diamond, the first one that we did together before we knew what this passion project was going to be, was anything that was not in alignment or would just fall away. So, you know, we kind of forgot that we wrote that. And we also, for me, at least personally, I didn't realize like how, you know, powerful, like you said earlier, kind of be careful what you wish for. And then we went through this really volatile time. And then we were like, why is this happening? What
in
is
our
going
external
on?
world? Like there were so many moving parts happening, friendships falling away, like some drama, some like residual drama. Like it really was like testing us and our relationship. And we both had a moment like, why is this happening? And then we thought, oh,
yeah, we were sitting
for this.
We were sitting in the living room going over like episode ideas.
Yes.
And we just had that epiphany and I was like, wait, we asked for this.
We literally wrote about everything that was not in alignment for the highest mission to fall away. So like, that's like another thing. And it's not like a warning. It's nothing scary, but also like, yeah, this stuff is real.
It's very real. You have to be prepared for those things that you write about to actually happen.
Yes, because you will get what you want, especially if it's in alignment with the universe. This is the other thing too. When you're manifesting from your ego, yes, it can happen. But also but even more importantly, I should say, if you're manifesting like for the good of the universe, for the good of all, the universe is going to hear that. There are so many energies that are going to support that. And that's going to streamline your shit.
Right.
And make it happen.
Well, I was going to say it was maybe like 2 months time from the time we started like getting these breadcrumbs to like actually like
beginning it.
Right. It happened it felt like overnight.
It was probably just shy of 2 months, actually,
Right.
now that I'm thinking about it. It was actually less than 2 months, babe.
Very fast.
Yeah.
So very quick.
Yeah.
And you forget when you're in the moment, you're like, you're under all this stress and you're trying to like get these things together and you're, just trying to get started. You really forget, like you're like, and then you look back and you're like, whoa, this happened really fast.
Yeah.
Really insanely fast for us.
Yeah. Because we had the support of the universe. It's not like we were forcing anything.
No, not at all.
If anything, we were kind of taking our sweet time.
We were taking our sweet time with it. We were like down to the wire, but like there was like, we got to this point where, we were just like affirming each other and just being like, we have more than enough time.
Yeah.
We have all the time in the world.
That was the other thing that's important to note. Yeah, we kind of, because we were so relaxed about it, and I feel like we both just intuitively knew, like, this is going to happen, like, it's all good. But we did set a date, for the podcast to release. And then the closer that it came, we just started, like, feeling the pressure. We put pressure on ourselves.
Totally.
And we got into this mindset of, like, contraction and, like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough time, and like scarcity mode. And then we really had to be like, okay, wait, what are we teaching? What are we all about? Hello, manifestation. Hello, like be the eye at the center of the storm. Don't get lost in all this chaos.
Well, yeah, because we had that moment where we were like, wait, like, do we actually even want to do this anymore? Because it felt so chaotic. We put all this unnecessary stress and pressure on ourselves, and then everything flowed after that. We were totally back in alignment once we started like making that affirmation to each other.
Yeah, that was a really like powerful affirmation. We have all the time that we need and more. And I find that too, just like, this is like a little tip too. Like if you're like, I find myself sometimes like I'm getting ready, like I'm lollygagging, I'm doing my makeup, like, how I am, like I can go like a little slow.
Yeah. I waited like 30 minutes for her to come in here to record.
Okay. Anyways, and like you find that like, oh my gosh, like I might be late for whatever it is that you're going to.
Right.
Don't think I'm going to be late, because your subconscious just sees I'm late and therefore so it is. Right. So I like do this thing in my mind where I'm like, oh, I have like all the time that I need and more. And I'm getting there right on time. I'm just in time. And what happens? And so it is. Like I am there right on time.
It works.
It really works.
It's proven, man. Tried and true.
So what do you think is like another pretty cool tip for manifesting for the people?
A cool tip.
Yeah, what's something that's like been so helpful for you in your manifestations?
Believing it wholeheartedly, believing it, and then like letting it go, like truly releasing it from your mind and just knowing it's already done. Yeah. Because sometimes I tend to get lost and like hyper focused on it, and I'm like, wait, why isn't it happening? And the moment I let it go and release it, and I'm like, it's already done, it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen, boom, it happens.
You're so good at that. The other thing that I would say is, along with believing and knowing, so powerful, and also like getting into the feeling. I think a lot of people talk about the thoughts, and that's important, but the emotion supercharges your manifestation. That's essential. So I would say getting into the feeling of like, okay, what does this feel like when it's already done? And if you don't know exactly what it feels like, then okay, can you imagine what it would be like? Can you imagine those feelings and really bring on those feelings? And that's an interesting practice. I started doing that a few years ago, and it felt a little uncomfortable at first. I was like manifesting more confidence for myself, and I was like, okay, how would Brianna feel if she was more confident, when I started like posturing myself differently and bringing those on? And it's not fake it till you make it. That's like a different thing. And that doesn't really work in my opinion, but that's like truly building that up, cultivating that within you. And
Sure.
Yeah. So the feeling is important.
I also think something that's just coming to mind too is I think in the beginning, you and I both had different levels of this scarcity mindset, and that was totally like a block. And we had to go deeper internally within ourselves to figure out, okay, why am I having this block? I need to alchemize this, wash it away. Otherwise, I'm going to get in my own way of all of this coming to us. So that was like a huge thing.
Yeah. I mean, looking at the blocks and the challenges, like you said, alchemizing it, that's huge. We can manifest something till we're blue in the face, but if we have all of these blocks within our field and our body, it's never going to actualize.
Right. And then just like, we had our moments of just kind of being like, who do we think we are?
In the imposter syndrome.
The whole imposter syndrome thing, like, yeah. So that was something that, me personally, I had to really like move past that. I still have those moments sometimes where I'm like, who do I think I am?
But it's less, would you say?
Way less.
Yeah.
But that also came from me like affirming myself in those moments. Like, you have a lot of life experience. You have things to teach people. You have things to say that have a lot of value that people are going to resonate with.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really great example of alchemy. You tagged that negative thought, and then right there and then in the moment, you totally transmuted it.
Right.
And you're also really good at that. So good.
I try my best.
I'm like still trying to flex that muscle, but that's difficult for me at times. Okay. What's another? Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I think those were the two main ones for me.
Oh, I think something else that's important that I'm getting into from our teachers is like expanding your capacity to receive.
Ooh, okay, yeah. That's bringing up like we were talking about this earlier today, but not only having like your vision, but what's the vision beyond the vision? Do you want to expand on that?
Right. So like your vision obviously is, okay, this podcast, let's say, but okay, now I have this podcast. Well, what's happening after that? That's even better and bigger in my life. We're not playing small here.
Right.
No one should be, because we're not small people as they condition us to believe. So, oh my gosh. Okay. Then we're like seeing all these maybe live events and different courses, and we're coaching together, and, we're traveling and all of these other things. So that would be an example of a vision beyond the vision. Okay. So now if you're focused on that, okay, for sure, all of these blocks and like resistances come up. So that's good to alchemize those. But also then you look at the podcast and it's like, oh, I can do that. That's easy, so you're expanding your capacity to actually receive. And that works really well for money too.
Right. Love that.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you can think of?
No, I think those are the main tips that have been super helpful to us in our journey.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, and so now I'm just, because this is such a topic that I'm passionate about, and I really like talking about it, and I like teaching other people about it. I'm just curious, if there's anyone out there that would like to go deeper with the manifestation stuff, if there's anyone that maybe wants a course on this, or maybe would want to live with us, or whatever that maybe could be, like, let us know. Reach out to us, over social media, or email us, whatever, method works well for you. Like, reach out to us and let us know if you would like to go deeper with this, and we can provide some content or some different opportunities.
Yeah. Really exciting.
Amazing.
Really exciting stuff. So, you want to wrap this up with some breath?
Yeah. Let's just take like 3 deep breaths.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe get in a comfortable seated position, have a straight spine, relax your shoulders. We've talked about a lot of information today in a shorter amount of time. So we just want to make sure that all of this gets integrated Closing down the eyes. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more. Soaking in and recording all of this information about manifestation. Of course, recording what feels good for you and leaving the rest, what does not serve you. Awesome. Slowly coming back, opening up the eyes.
Lovely.
Hey.
So again, if anyone's interested in maybe a course, or maybe just you want to know a little bit more about our different techniques and things that we've done, our email is linked to our Instagram. Our DMs are always open, and we look forward to hearing you. We can be found at Barebone Lovers on all platforms. Cool.
Cool.
Okay. Love ya.
Love ya. See ya.